Good morning, everybody, and welcome to day 19 of 30 Days to Better Writing Habits. I hope you are really powering through your writing days now, and that you've got your habits in place and your desk looks great and you've got all the tools around you that you need. And I've called today's title Little by Little, because every day we're moving forward inch by inch and working our way towards a consistent writing habit, which will stand us in good stead as we move into that next phase of our writing, where we get up to the messy middles and we start to doubt ourselves and the story goes haywire. So before that point, what I want you to think about is a bit of structure and a bit of character planning and those sorts of things. So we're going to have a little talk about those things over the next few days. But first I wanted to read you a little piece of advice by Joanne Harris that I found in one of my writing magazines over the weekend. And I thought it might be of interest to us. And she says, "Stories come together little by little. Usually I'll start with something, often a character, but sometimes a mood or a place or a single scene. I tend to let things come together organically, and I'll do that by writing. And when I know a story is beginning, I'll get rid of the other stuff. It's a process of collecting the ingredients. Nothing gets binned, it's scaffolding. You're making a building, and when it holds itself up, you get rid of the scaffolding." And I thought that was pretty true about what we've been doing over the last couple of weeks, because we wrote our way into our stories and we worked out where we were going. By now, I would like to think that you have some pretty solid ideas. If you've been working consistently and if you've been getting words on the page, your story will start to be taking some kind of shape, or at least you have a forward trajectory. Because besides your writing, you've got your writing journal, haven't you? And you've been doing little character sketches, and you've been thinking about setting, and you've been thinking about where you're going with your stories and your high points and all those kinds of things. And hopefully along the way, you're also starting to develop the habit of reading good writing. So these are some of the things that we've been talking about over the last couple of weeks. And now they come into their own, because your character has to start growing. Okay, so they've started with a problem, and we've probably got a fair idea where it's going to end, but we need to make that character suffer, and we need to make them grow in order for our audience or our reader to care about what's happening. So for the next few days at least, I'm going to talk a little bit about character development and point of view and how to bring a setting alive and all those things that go into creating a story that doesn't become too unwieldy and you end up writing thousands and thousands and thousands of words that you're not going to need and you're going to ditch anyway. So remember, we never throw anything away. We've got our Scrivener document or whatever we're using, and we keep things to one side if we decide not to use them. Another character may have become more interesting, and you may put that first character aside as the second character starts to take over the story. Or you may find that the first couple of weeks writing was practice. Heaven forbid if you get to the point now where you're actually really starting to get interested in something, and those first couple of weeks were really you writing your way into what you were wanting to say. Now that can happen. Some stories write far more easily than other stories, and other stories that can be really, really stubborn to reveal themselves. And all of those things are okay. You know your own style. You have to start making those kinds of decisions. But consistency is the key. Educating yourself along the way, doing courses and all those kinds of things. And the dogs are jumping up and down at the packing here, so I don't know what's going on there, but we're moving house. So it's a little bit crazy at the moment. All right, so I'm going to leave you now. Because my dogs are playing up. And of course, if we're doing this live, you can't do much about that. So what I want you to do is I want you to start thinking about shaping your story. All right, and we'll talk tomorrow about character development. So that's bye for now. And I'll go and take the dogs outside.